Okay, so today we've got news that could potentially be taken on a more doomery angle about Dragon Age 4. However, there are statements from developers on the project and a few things of circumstance that I think mean that maybe it's not a doomer thing. So let's just hop into it, because the initial headline may be worrying, and it is Dragon Age loses another executive producer. Christian Daly. Hi friends, wanted to pass on that I'm now leaving BioWare. The next Dragon Age is in great hands. Looking forward to cheering the team on and playing as a fan. Right, so that happened. And then this also came alongside a studio update from the general manager of BioWare, Gary McKay. So this is going to be interesting. He basically explained elements of the production process from the very initial idea to the pre-production, through to production and all of that, saying the Dragon Age 4 is in production. He said, for the next Dragon Age, we are right in the middle of production, which is a great feeling. Our blueprint was completed last year, so now we're focused on building our vision, creating amazing environments, deep characters, strong gameplay, impactful writing, emotional cinematics, and much more. The blueprint is well understood, and the team is focused. Yeah, good. Usually, production is... I think people just think, you sort of go make the game. No, it doesn't really work like that. This certainly shows that... well, it shows that this is a game, I don't mean one that's going to come out soon, but it's one that's going to, I think, be something we'll hear about reasonably soon, right? Like, it's pretty major, actually. Because technically you can make a game like this, 2 years. Yeah. Maybe 3. We'll have to see. I think where the issues really start to crop up is like a Mass Effect 3, where the entire process is crunched into a far smaller time, meaning that even the production in that game was... Basically, it's like, hey, you've got 18 months to make Mass Effect 3, and by the way, you're going to have the same production process as the F-35. Good luck, have fun. Yeah. So no wonder it's an uneven game. Now, on the topic of his departure then, saying we wanted to wish Christian Daly a heartfelt farewell. He's been a big influence on our games and leadership team, most recently as executive producer on Dragon Age. They say, he's trying to assuage fears, right? Saying that a strong leadership team of industry and Dragon Age vets is in place to carry them through the production. So let's work out who that team is. We've got Mac Walters as production director, who is an 18-year BioWare veteran, and he actually led the Mass Effect remaster. There's Corrine Bush as game director, 15-year EA vet. Then we've got Benoit Hull, who is director of product development and has worked on every single Dragon Age game. So that's seeming good enough. So they're trying to project that they've got a very solid team in terms of leadership for this game. And from what we then understand, BioWare has been working on a whole bunch of issues under McKay, as they're basically trying to fix up the staff morale, fix up the company direction, essentially recover from the fact that they did just go and scrape by on Dragon Age Inquisition and then ship Andromeda and Anthem. That's going to be completely disastrous to company morale. So they have a lot of issues to fix, and seems like that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's why I think it's interesting that they're talking so much about the production process, and here's pre-production and concepting. Here's where we are in the process. I think that's interesting because I imagine McKay wants to completely dispel any fear that anyone has of they have no idea what they're doing until BioWare magic happens at the end. I feel like they're very much like... at least in terms of PR, kind of overcorrecting for that and going, listen, we have a plan for this game. We know it's going to go at this rate. It's on schedule, so by this time we'll have a finished game. Because he kind of goes into a little bit more detail in the post. I just kind of pulled out some of the important quotes. But he goes into detail, talk about how, like, once all of that strong gameplay, impactful writing stuff is actually made, then that's when that's when the stuff starts to happen and it starts to come together as like an experience. But they are crafting the parts of that experience. So he's very much kind of, he's waving the flag saying, we literally know what you think of us. We're not doing that again.
Yeah.
Which I think is cute, yeah.
Man, that's what we want to see. Yep. Now, this is very interesting to me. Right. Basically, a lot of why BioWare has felt fine to just waddle along is because BioWare Austin SWTOR has been an effective cash cow. Is that really true?
It seems to be that, from what I've heard...
That's shocking to me,
a little bit of that. Not like it's completely paying all the bills for all of these huge productions, but it's like, in the event of Anthem shitting the bed, they could at least go, SWTOR's there, it'll keep the lights on. So they've not been like, we need this to be good or we're dead.
Right.
It's just been, we can keep trundling along for a while, or we can kind of look for the fun, or we can get things done. If it's not super ideal, we can spend more time because we do have that backup over in Austin.
Well, unfortunately, on SWTOR, I've got to say, I do like a lot of the actual content that they've shipped for that game. The most recent expansion has got like 1 hour of story perfection. Yeah. They basically mislabeled a decent update as an expansion. The PC Gamer headline is that it's went down about as well as the holiday special, which is fucking brutal. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that team, if it is the cash cow, I would have hoped the team would have had more support on it, frankly. Yeah. But I suppose it's not like World of Warcraft being Blizzard's cash cow has meant that Blizzard has been able to treat World of Warcraft well in terms of, holding that team to a high standard, perhaps giving that team the resources that it needs. Yeah. Because obviously the development team, I guess you have to say what it is, the development team of World of Warcraft have done, more damage to that game than anything else could. Yeah. And if it is true that SWTOR is a bit of a cash cow, it's frankly shocking that they've underinvested in it as much as they seemingly have in recent times.
Well, my theory for that is a little bit of Anthem being shunted over to Austin for the big update and fix may have killed that. I think, because I don't know how, I literally don't know how the staff have moved around the place, but I have this feeling that Austin kind of had something new to do with Anthem, and then that being pulled out from underneath them, going, this, EA and BioWare aren't happy to, continue funding this for its revival. I feel like that might have done morale damage or something, or maybe had some staff leave from Austin to go join the main BioWare people up on Mass Effect and Dragon Age 4. I feel like that might be one of the problems. They might have siphoned off Austin devs, and that's why maybe SWTOR feels a little bit undercooked in its latest thing. That's a kind of my general vibe. I'm not too sure if I'd put any weight on it, but if it came out that they had just a bunch of staff from Austin had left or moved, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. Interesting. I suppose keeping morale, keeping people on a live product, as we've covered on this channel as well, is a really challenging thing.
Indeed.
Especially in a situation of SWTOR where, they do Fallen Empire and the two Valkorian expansions, and, they're super hyped about, delivering these, proper, RPG stories. And then suddenly they seemingly no longer have the budget to do that because Onslaught and Legacy of the Sith have significantly shorter amounts of narrative content. That must feel a little bit whack for that team.
Definitely.
A bit strange. Now that said, it still is an absurd... if you haven't played SWTOR and you like the idea of just playing a pretty good BioWare RPG, it's a complete no-brainer, frankly. But a bit odd for the veteran players. Now, you might be thinking, okay, sure. Mr. BioWare comes out and says that his main man's gone. But look at all these other people. A lot of people are going to think, well, that's just a business guy. Of course he's going to say that. Of course, we don't believe that. How many times have we had companies, including Electronic Arts, saying, oh, it's fine, we're ahead of schedule, it's going to be great, look at this incredible 10-year team, and then a 2042 happens. Well, this is when we start to go to the press, see what people are saying. Now, Jeff Grubb is a man who gets lots of rumors and leaks and things seemingly go by his desk.
Absolutely.
And, so he has said, and he seems to have a lot of insider info here, he has said that it is in very good shape. And this is fantastic news. Yeah. They are hitting their milestones and where they're supposed to be, and the game is on schedule. It is still at least 18 months out from today, maybe late 2023. That seems to be the earliest you can begin to expect it. But the good thing here is that those rumors seem to be positive.
Yep.
And if we just take a second to think about Christian, now he came on, he worked on Andromeda, he worked on Anthem, now he worked on this. Got to admit, he's been through 2 rough experiences at this company.
Yeah.
Is anyone going to blame him going off to do something else? Right? Because, you might think oh, wow, working in Dragon Age, is that not a dream job? Well, ultimately, his job is going to be going into the office and executive producing a big product, right? And if he's just had to do that for 2 products that were really challenging, even if this one is going good, maybe, and this is the thing, we got to think about these people as actual individuals, maybe he looks at this, and, you add this in with Jeff Grubb's leaks, maybe Christian's thinking, okay, I have done my job. The game that I've executive produced is on schedule. It's hitting its deadlines. I can now leave with a clean consciousness, and perhaps others in the industry will know that this team is in a great track, and that'll be good for his career prospects. That's a lot of time to spend at a company.
Yeah, because you like looking at how his actually tweets went is around the time he said that. He said this all happened yesterday, and he said, "I want to reiterate that the Dragon Age team is killing it, and the game is in amazing hands. Don't fall for the hate. Lots of positivity. Can't wait for when they can share more." So obviously, he's going to be positive about a company he's leaving, because you can't just say, "Well, glad I'm out of there. Fuck them." But it's still, it's like, it's a case where you could drum that false positivity up, but that seems like it goes a little bit beyond, where you see people leave and you see a little bit of silence, or you see I had a really good time here, bye. And that kind of tells you that what they don't say is where the story is. But in this case, I think it's what he actually says is where the story is.
Yeah.
It's the same with, like, there's a couple of, there's a decent couple of people responding who are developers or, in the same, generally who know what's going on beneath the surface. And they're all saying, thanks, you've actually done a great job here. And it's all that stuff that no one needs to be this positive, but they are being it. Obviously, it could be false, but to me, it reads very much like they are actually, they are decent friends. They are working well together, and they are genuinely sad to see him go, but that they're hopeful for how he's left it. I think all that stuff is genuinely, I'm not one to particularly care about Dragon Age, but it seems for Dragon Age fans and for people who want BioWare to recover, there's actually good news on the horizon.
Yep, and hey, I'm more on the Mass Effect side.
Yeah.
And ultimately, this is, good success, seemingly anyway, a good successful production coming from this company. Mass Effect 4 is in that more early stage. They're trying to work out the blueprint of the game. Yep. But in a world where it's going well over here, and then I'm thinking, well, okay, Frostbite almost killed EA4. Frostbite almost killed Mass Effect Andromeda. Andromeda's production schedule was almost such that it wasn't able to really benefit from, and this is via Schreier's deep dive reporting, Andromeda wasn't able to benefit from the lessons of 4 just because of the way their production's lined up. So I'm now thinking that, okay, they've taken a bit more time. They're going to be able to maybe, info share, stuff like that. Basically, it seems like we shouldn't really... we shouldn't have those issues anyway. I think now we absolutely should not. And if Grubb's reporting here is true, then I think this is also great news for the Mass Effect fans. It's obviously tentatively great news, but look, we got to take the wins where we can get them. And if we fall to a default hatred, a default doomerism, all we're going to be doing is robbing our own happiness. You have to be willing to be, interested and excited and not to be just default depressed about everything all the time. Then what you have to do is temper that with a little bit of but okay, I have to be realistic. I'm not going to pre-order. I'll wait for the reviews. But as long as you have the appropriate safeguards in place and, we do actually have the ability to see what members of the press are saying based on their sources, allow yourself to feel good about something. Is what I'd say.
Yeah, it's trying to think of the exact phrasing I used for this in another conversation we had. Something like realistic optimism without expectation, or hope without expectation, where you could always read the negativity in everything, but if you look at this and go, that's cool, I hope that's right, but I'm not going to I'm not going to lose my marbles if it's not true. I'm just going to kind of hope for the best and see what happens. I think that's very much where I am with BioWare. Not that I particularly care about their output, but they are one of the, for everyone who does love Dragon Age, or everyone who does love Mass Effect, I'm fairly invested in them having a great experience and BioWare being a respected dev to come out and have some good stuff finally happen. And with a new GM who seems to be doing a decent enough job with everything that we've heard from internal reporting, there's no way they're going to be able to keep that up. Especially considering EA seem to, for all the damage they do to Battlefield, they do seem to have their head relatively screwed on some parts in terms of employee treatment and behavior, at least.
So we'll have to see how it goes. But, tentatively good news.
Yep.
Which is great, because I think a world where the BioWare properties, the BioWare studios go down the shitter, that's not a world I want to be in. So let's hope this is all real good. Okay, so that's it from us. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you next time.